has little.
Christian Men's Illustrated, the podcast. It's Jeremiah Johnson. This time I have Isaiah Johnson, my son.
Hello.
Here on Christian Men's Illustrated, the podcast, we talk about stuff that guys love: movies, tech, sports, Jesus, most importantly. But this time we're going to do a little movie review of the film The GOAT, or GOAT, specifically GOAT. This is a 2026 film, and Isaiah, you think it's one of the best of all time? Where do you rank this? Or just open us up to this movie that is GOAT.
Open us up, like how.
Well, we first saw GOAT. We saw the previews, right? Well, I can't
Yeah.
remember what movie we were seeing, but we saw the preview of GOAT last year, and it's here's the movie theme. Okay, so GOAT is a 2026 American animated sports comedy film produced by Columbia Pictures. The plot is, in a world of anthropomorphic animals, young GOAT Will Harris aspires to be like his idol, Black Panther Jet Fillmore, a roarball player of Vinland Thorns. 10 years later, the Thorns have not yet won all season, with Jet asking team owner Warhog Florence Flo Everson to do whatever she can to compete and make them the team by finding a sixth player. Meanwhile, Will, now working at a diner and practicing roarball, is struggling to pay off his apartment rent after earning money from selling his prize sneakers. Will faces off against one of the characters. Anyway, he goes on to become this underrated player that becomes a part of the roarball team, and all this kind of stuff. So it's about animals, real life animals that are playing basketball, etc. So break it down for him. Tell the people about the movie GOAT is what we're trying to do here.
So the movie, I thought, was pretty good. It had a lot of advertisement in it. It had Toyota, it had DoorDash in it, and a lot of other brands. But whenever we started seeing the movie, we started seeing trailers come out, and we were like, oh, it's pretty cool. It's a GOAT movie about basketball. Then we figured out that Steph Curry was the voice of Lenny the Giraffe, and then we got a little bit more excited because Steph Curry is one of my favorite players. And so then we just decided to go to see it one day. So it's actually really funny. He starts off as like a little kid, and no one wants... Oh, he starts off with a little kid, and his mom takes him to his first roarball game ever to see the Thorns player, and he sees Jet play, and she surprises him for that. And then he gets a basketball, and he starts training to play basketball. But the main quote in the movie is "Smalls don't ball," and so they don't think that he can they don't think that he can ball and play basketball. And in the whole movie, he's just trying to prove the big people that he can actually play basketball.
Yeah, so there you go. You're getting to it. It's essentially like a movie about believe in yourself. Here's this young little GOAT that nobody thinks can be a professional roarball basketball player. He's too small. He's not going to have the skills, but yet he's putting in the work. He's playing, dreaming, and so he accomplishes his dream. So it's definitely a movie along those lines of, if you have a skill or something that you're good at, practice, do it, believe in yourself, and one day you can achieve your dreams. That's kind of the general lines. But yeah, I think a lot of the drawing power to this movie was Steph Curry was in it. So a lot of people thought we thought Steph was originally going to be GOAT.
Yeah, until we looked it up after the movie, and he ended up being Lenny the Giraffe.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting about this movie, The GOAT, is that it had the animation style of Into the Spider-Verse, right? It's kind of that. I was trying to look up.
It was by the creators of Spider-Man, too.
Yeah, so if you like that Into the Spider-Verse type of animation, you're definitely going to like The GOAT because it was along that. And so, was it the director or Pete?
Same. It said in the trailer, it said by the creators of Spider-Man.
Yeah, so I thought it's definitely a unique style of animation for sure.
Yeah.
And so if you're not used to that, it took me a while. It took me a moment, that first Into the Spider-Verse movie that everyone thought was amazing. It took me a minute to kind of adjust to that style of animation. I didn't know if I liked it at first, but then after, once I got into the movie, totally loved it.
Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of people, that Into the Spider-Verse has become a huge franchise. But
yeah, I also think the drawing. Once you've seen a lot of other movies with a lot of different drawing designs and styles, when you can have like you have some movies that you like drawing. Like there's some movies that I like but I don't really like because of the drawing style, because it's kind of like there's some people whose drawings are more roundish and some people's who try to make it more realistic. This movie is more realistic, and that's what I like about it.
Okay, so there is, like a lot of styles, there's, for me as a father with 4 children, trust me, dude, I have been to more than enough kids movies to fill a lifetime. Okay, so, but I put this up there. Like sometimes kids movies are just redundant, boring. I'm like, oh geez, I got to go. But I would put GOAT up there. Like I love I would just say in reference to the last handful of years, we thought Sonic was awesome. Sonic 1, 2, 3. We really enjoyed those movies. And then we'd also put GOAT up there as one of our favorites.
But it's also pretty exciting because that's like the first cartoon basketball movie we've had in a while. Because like I don't even ever remember any other.
We had Space Jam too.
Yeah,
so
Space
where would
Jam.
you? So that's a good comp right there. So if you're listening to this, you're like, well, give me a comp, give me a comparison of some kind. We got Space Jam 2. We have GOAT. I would say the differences are animation style, right? They're different movies in that Space Jam 2 is more about LeBron. It was about his kid, but they're comparable. But yeah, we haven't had a lot of good animation, awesome basketball movies.
I would definitely put it Space Jam 2, then GOAT, then Space Jam 1. Because Space Jam 2, they just made some things that are not possible in real life. Like they had some cool looking fields. And I like how we're getting into Space Jam 2. We need to stay in GOAT, but
right.
I would put Space Jam 2.
It's good to talk about Space Jam 2, and here's the big difference: is Space Jam 2 is you have human characters.
Yeah.
You have human, and then you have the animation combining together. Where GOAT is strictly animation.
But what was cool in Space Jam 2 that was not in Space Jam 1 is that in one scene they turned LeBron into a cartoon for like 5 minutes of the movie, and it was pretty cool to see LeBron as a cartoon.
That's a good question.
But that's also a different kind of cartoon than
live animation. That's a good question for you.
And then they turn the cartoon players into like real life in the movie, like with real fur and everything in the Space Jam 2.
Would you say do you prefer live animation or animation? That would be a good comparable. So
is live animation with humans?
Yeah, like Space Jam. You have Space Jam 2, where you have real humans and you
like
incorporate
Sonic.
the animation. Sonic, just like GOAT straight up animation. Which do you prefer?
Straight up animation. I like that better. But I do also like the other types.
Yeah. I think we're at the point now, like in our culture, where you can blend live action and make it look really good. You know, even, 10 years ago, sometimes you could see these live animation movies that look really, really clunky overall. But I would say I slightly lean in towards, I'd prefer just one or the other, just straight up animation or straight up live action. But you're always going to have some element now of animation, special effects involved into a movie. So, so GOAT. Well, I mean, we're really more focusing on GOAT. But again, if you're watching the live stream, you can see this is kind of just from IMDb, just some pics of the GOAT movie. PG, so no swearing, no bad language. Definitely, that's another thing. It's like, man, sometimes it's hard to find, a good movie to take your kids to. Definitely, I could say as a parent, GOAT, you can take your kids, you can take your grandkids to GOAT and have a good time.
Like, and if people say, like right now, because I've only seen GOAT once and I've seen Space Jam a few more times than GOAT, if people tell me, do you want to go watch GOAT or Space Jam, I would say GOAT. But once we've seen GOAT a couple of times, we'll see once I compare better, because it's different, like watching in a movie theater. You can kind of understand it. You're just like watching it, but once you've watched it a few times, in the second one you can like actually like look at all the details. Like there's a few scenes that I missed that when I go back and rewatch it, then it will probably make a little bit more sense, because I missed like a few scenes.
So in the movie, what's his name again in the movie?
Will Harris.
Yeah, so Will Harrison, he ends up achieving his dreams, of getting in the roar ball. They win the championship. I don't know. Here's a good question. To me, this doesn't feel like it's a sequel type movie, that there's going to be GOAT 2. I'm not sure where they could go with that for sure. But you think they'll make a sequel to this?
I'm going to say no, just probably no. But I don't know because they probably made quite a lot of money doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going right there. So Sony Pictures Animation's original film, GOAT, has grossed $193.5 million worldwide.
Was that more than Mario?
Or wait, did I say 193 million worldwide, consisting of, that doesn't seem right. So, okay, consisting of 103.3 million domestically in the US and Canada and 90.2 million in internet markets. The sports comedy was produced on a $80 million budget. Okay, so they made money on the movie. So 193, that's an average film. That's not cashing in. So like the Mario Brothers, that's $1 billion film. There's some other movies that have made more than that. So that's interesting. With that particular number, it'll be interesting if they go to a sequel. I would say no, but
I said no, right?
it's worthy of a sequel. I mean, that animation, or I'm not sure where they could go. Where would they go with the storyline?
I mean, of course, all the fans of GOAT that have seen this movie want a second one, but it's also like price-wise, time-wise, and all the time it works to make the movie if they'll do it. Like, because they could be making new movies. Because I feel like there's been a lot of cartoons, animations that have came out this year. For kids, which is good for the kids like us.
Yep, exactly. I'm a Christian. I like clean movies, so the more cleaner movies, the better. But some of these numbers, as you're talking, I'm pulling it up. So release date, it was a February release date. So if a movie is released in February, that means it's probably not going to be a big time movie. Opening weekend was $4 million, so that's not a big opening. So this will be interesting. I wonder. I'm leaning that maybe it probably won't, but it is now available on Prime. You can rent the movie, check it out. So this would make a very, very, very good family night.
Yeah.
All right. Final thoughts from you, Isaiah, on the GOAT.
Final thoughts is you should watch it if you haven't watched it, because it's a pretty good movie if you like sports. Of course, this movie was more exciting for us because we're boys and we like basketball.
That's right.
And so it was like exciting when we were just when we were watching trailers in the movie and like, what, they're making a basketball animation?
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
So if you like good animation, if you like sports, if you like basketball,
if you like comedy,
and if you like good, clean family fun, 2 thumbs up, 10 out of 10 for this movie for sure.
Yeah.
Go check it out. But all right, guys, that's a movie review of GOAT, the movie. It's not in theaters anymore, but you can go check it out on Amazon Prime. I'm sure some other places as well. That's a movie review from myself, Isaiah Johnson. Talk to you next time.